first thing I did before I was reborn. It is to spend tens of millions of dollars to buy a 999-ton mine truck. Just because the mechanical tinder activates the vehicle, mecha covers the world. All the vehicles will become human exoskeletons. The rich second-generation Zhang Han's Ferrari sports car turned into an agile mecha assassin. Zhang Sang's heavy truck transformed into an invincible meat shield mecha. Li Si's concrete truck transformed into a long-range mage mecha. As long as the vehicle is bigger, heavier, and stronger, then the transformed mecha will be stronger. However, in the previous life, I only have a shared bicycle under my poor name that has not been returned by scanning the code. It was crushed by a 30-story mechanical beast. Gluttonous, passing by like stepping on ants. I woke up from the bed, immediately turn on the phone and cash out like crazy. I tore up the credit, crazy online loans, hard borrowing usury, gather tens of millions and prepare to make a desperate bet. Now there are only 7 days until the end of the world. I have to be in 7 days. Create an S-class fortress tyrant that overwhelms the wasteland. The absolute tonnage and nuclear firepower. Counterattack. All mockers. After a night of struggle, I have a cold 10 million lying in my account. I will be the rule maker for the rest of my life. The next day, I came to the heavy industry machinery trade zone in the western suburbs of Linhai City. Yellow sand is dusty. The smell of diesel is pungent. Rows of steel giants stood silently. I took out my phone and showed the balance. I want to buy a car. Maximum tonnage. The bald man instantly raised a greasy smile. Boss, the surname is Zhao. The manager here. I want to see Scania. Volvo is still liberated. I recommend running logistics. Take me to see the biggest. I interrupted him. 10 minutes later, deep in the parking lot, the behemoth made me stop breathing. XEND4. Under Demon modified mine dump truck rock crusher. The body is more than 4 stories high. The tire diameter is almost 6 meters, width 15 meters. It is 20 meters long. Whole body was pitch black. The car paint is mottled. Dark gray special steel is exposed. Unmanaged Zhao patted the tires. Its own weight is 350 tons. The load capacity is 649 tons. Full load 999 tons. 3,650 HP marine diesel unit. The owner of the Northwest mine came to pay off the debt. I can't get it a license. It has to be dismantled when it is transported. 909 tons, the last generation of gluttony, but about 500 tons. I trembled and stroked the tire texture. Blood boils. How much? 10 million. Not a single minute less. Manager Jia opened his mouth, took a step closer. I only have 7 million. The full amount is transferred now. You don't need to transport it. This car is also scrap metal parked. Sell it to me and you can get the commission to go to the clubhouse today. Manager Zhao hesitated for a moment. He hurriedly grabbed me as I was leaving. Deal. Sign a waiver agreement. 10 minutes later, the electronic contract is signed. The balance of the car is emptied. I clutch the heavy keys. Climb up the vertical escalator to the cab. The wide seat is like a throne, overlooking the tiny manager Xiao. Ha! From today, you call it a fortress. We go home. Insert the key to rotate. The steel heart that had been dormant for 3 years woke up. Black smoke soared into the sky. The ground trembles. I put on gear. Release the handbrake. Press the accelerator. The barbed wire fence was knocked open. The landing rod was crushed. The 999-ton behemoth roared towards the Wilderness Avenue. The corners of my mouth cracked into exaggerated arcs. There are still 7 days left before the end of the world. Enough for me to take the fortress, armed to the teeth. I pulled out a crumpled note. Above is the address of the black market modification plant. Added collision angles. Welded steel bar guard net. The car bucket was converted into an arsenal. Tom, Li Shi's gluttony. Are you ready for the horrors of this life? Scrap Iron City in the northern suburbs of Linhai City. Grave of a scrapped vehicle. A paradise for illegal modifications. My fortress. Like moving mountains. Savage squeezes into the narrow road. Roadside scrapped cars are like toys. Engineering tires run over. The asphalt cracked. Brake in front of the only abandoned hangar of Thunderhammer Heavy Industries that can accommodate it. Sound of the air brake stirred up dust all over the sky. The car repairman slumped on the ground in fright, wearing an oil-stained vest. Wang Dalai, who was carrying a giant wrench, walked out. Brothers, you're on the wrong track. This is a garage, not a pit. I climbed down the escalator. Cold aura made him shut up. I pulled out the folding drawings. No maintenance. Only modify. Body welding container living cabin. The front of the car has a V-shaped impact angle. The whole vehicle is covered with 50mm marine steel platy. Tires plus explosion-proof chainmail. 3 days to complete. You are going to war. This is too much work. 500 zero manual costs. Material costs are calculated separately. Wang Dalai responded instantly. Deal. Brothers, get up and do a big job. Just when the workers were hoisting the steel plates, the sharp roar of the engine came. Red Ferrari SF90 rushes into the yard. Chang Han was wearing sunglasses. Walked down covered in famous brands. In my previous life I robbed me of food. The rich second generation who put me in the zombie pile. He didn't recognize me covered in oil. Cover your nose in disgust. Lao Wang. My rear wing and nitrogen acceleration. To take first place in the supercar race. Sang Shao. Full carbon fiber F1 style. Guaranteed to be as light as paper. Wang Dalai laughed. I sneered in the shadows. He was as light as paper. The previous life. Sang San's carbon fiber body is not as good as a tin barrel after mutation. Hit by rubble and lose balance. Eventual gluttony. Step on it into red mud. Sang Sen finally noticed the fortress. Knock on the steel plate with sunglasses. Lao Vang. You have collected scrap metal. Such an ugly thing blocks the light. He turned his head to meet my eyes. Laugh for a moment. Isn't this the poor little fan? This car is yours. If you want to touch porcelain, go to the construction site to move bricks. I looked at him quietly. The gaze is like looking at a dead person. This kind of look made Shan Han uncomfortable. He reached out and poked me in the chest. Quickly move the rags away. I raised my hand to cut his wrist. Sang Sun's face turned pale in pain. Shake it casually. Retreated and almost fell into the waste oil drum. You wait for me. San Han steadily drilled into the Ferrari. Watch as he dismantles the crash beam and replaces it with a lighter carbon fiber rod. I was even more sarcastic. He is doing subtraction. I'm doing addition. Night fell. The scrap Iron City is brightly lit. 20 welders took turns on battle. I pointed to the front of the car. I-beam welding triangle impact angle. Protrudes 2 meters. Knocked on the steel plate of the car door again. Replaced the old 30 mm plat. The hinge was replaced with a tank pin. The windows were sealed with steel mesh. The tires are equipped with polar anti-riot steel chain mesh. In the car compartment, 20-foot shipping containers are hoisted in ya. Divided into storage and rest areas. Veld the single bed. Geochemical toilets and diesel generators. This is not a car. It is Noah's Ark. It is a mobile steel fortress. 3 days and 3 nights. I barely closed my eyes, supported by Red Bull and inferior cigarettes. When the modification is completed, the rising sun shines on the fortress. The whole body is matte black paint. The V-shaped impact angle flashes with cold light. Rivets like scales. The searchlight is like a compound eye. Wang Da lies that on the ground. What kind of monster is this? I stroked the cold armor. A relaxed smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. It was the prototype of the fortress Tyrant. Wait for the light to come. It will become the dream of the world. Modification completed. There are still 3 days left until the end of the world. I drive the fortress, drive away from the scrap Iron City. Vehicles along the way avoided one after another. A BMW X5 tried to plug it. After seeing the V-shaped collision angle, he was so frightened that he rushed to the green belt. I went straight to the logistics and warehousing center. Carry has 2 million left. All must be converted into survival materials. The first stop is a private oil depot. Minus no 35 diesel. How much is more? 20 cash settlement increase. Filled in a large 200-liter oil drum. Half an hour later, 20 tons of diesel fuel were bundled and fixed to the body. Anti-collision sandbags are installed around it. This oil is enough to support thousands of kilometers of travel or a generator for half a year. The second stop is the wholesale market. 500 boxes of military compressed biscuits. 200 boxes of high-meat luncheon meat. 2 tons of vacuum rice. Large barrels of pure water fill the gaps of the containers. Workers move supplies into the truck bed. I stand on the roof of the car to debug the newly bought composite bow. In addition to eating and drinking, weapons are essential. Compound bow. Mountain knife. Modified nail gun. The inner wall of the container is covered with fire axes, sapper shovels, and other tools. Dozens of tons of materials were loaded. Fortress. The suspension does not sink. June 21st. The last 24 hours before the end of the world. Sky was an eerie grayish yellow. The clouds are extremely low. The smell of rust fills the air. Saw animals go on hunger strike and roar. Stray dogs burrow into the sutters. The mobile phone signal is intermittent. A news broadcast aurora and geomagnetic anomaly. I know. This is mechanical tinder. Sign of approaching the earth. Drive the fortress towards the unfinished viaduct break-off on the edge of the city. The terrain here is high. Broad vision. There are fewer people and fewer cars. It is an excellent birth point. The first wave of the end often comes from mutated vehicles around you. The congestion of vehicles on the elevated road mutates. It will be hell on earth. Stop at the end of the broken bridge. Front of the car faces outward. Turn off the engine lights. Take out a photo. On top is half a piece of bread given to me in my previous life. The back of the girl who eventually died in the zombie wave. This life. I don't need anyone to give bread. I am the granary. I am the fortress. Time passed minute by minute. June 22, 2025. 115,1950. The sky turned grayish yellow to a dazzling purple red. The clouds swirl into purple swirls. All electronic devices have a black screen. The city fell into extreme dead silence. A purple shockwave swept across the globe. The resonance that hit the soul sounded. Seats under you. Steering wheel. The steel plate trembled violently. Eva. Activation. The dashboard pointer turns wildly and points to the red zone. The central control screen lights up. A scarlet electronic eye is attached to me, with cherished understanding and tyranny. Meanwhile, the downstairs intersection becomes a slaughterhouse. Shan Han's Ferrari is twisted and deformed. Seatbelt strangled the CEO pilot's neck of the internet celebrity. The bus arches its back like a caterpillar. The car window turned into countless mouths. Passengers screamed. Blood stained the red glass. A passerby riding a 2.8 bar, just like me in the previous life. It is stuck and contracted by the metal skeleton of the bicycle mutation. And the fortress on the broken bridge completed the first breath. 2 streams of hot steam spewed out of the exhaust pipe. Red eye on the center console flashes. The system self-test is completed. The host confirms the little mystery. Vehicle form heavy mine fortress. A large number of modified parts were detected to be assimilated. Assimilation completed. Cloud Das Mecha Fortress Tira. We are waiting for your dispatch. I looked at the red electronic eye. The corners of the mouth cracked to the base of the ears. Got work. Big. Push down the gear lever. The black beast started with a bang. With the momentum of crushing everything. Rush to the hellish crossroads of the world. Moment. My nervous system stretches infinitely. The optic nerve connects the high-definition infrared searchlight on the roof with panoramic radar. The skin turns into a thick reactive armor. Heart turns into a roaring 3,650 HP diesel unit. Fuel is pumped into the hydraulic line like blood. This is mechanization. Integration. Rather than simple driving, data streams cascaded in the field of vision. 100 core integrity. Fuel reserves are sufficient. The external fuel tank has been connected. The weapon system V-shaped icebreaker is ready. Explosion-proof tire chainmail ready. The body machine gun turret is to be activated. Current status. Fortress modis. My mind moved. The huge front wheels are deflected 30 degrees to the right. Crush half of the cement guardrail next to IT. This sense of control. It is very different from the bicycle skeleton of the previous life that fell off the screws. Intersection ahead has become a Shura field. Hundreds of mutant vehicles fight. The white Toyota SUV bites into the small hatchback, shredded to shreds. Many drivers were swallowed up by cars, or become a killing maniac due to mental exhaustion. Only the determined, or reborn. Only then can you perfectly control the mecha. I watched it all coldly. Red dots appear on the radar. A mutant double-decker bus turns into a steel centipede. Dozens of arthropods composed of seat skeletons rush towards Mars. I want to devour the fortress. Initial stage of mutation. Large mechs will instinctively prey on their own evolution. I waited quietly for it to rush in front of me. Release the brakes. Full throttle. A terrifying mass of 999 tons. Even if it's only 10 yards fast. Kinetic energy is also enough to destroy everything. The steel centipede hits the V-shaped impact angle. Like a baguette hitting a train. The front of the car was instantly shattered. The arthropods are as fragile as toothpicks. I drive the fortress. Run over directly. The tire crushes it. Zombie passengers turned into a mixture of meat, mud, and oil. System prompt. Kill a level 1 mutant bus type. Obtain metal source 50. I didn't look in the rearview mirror. Control the steering wheel. The huge body draws a domineering arc at the end of the broken bridges. Rush down the slope. Target City Center. There was no friend party there. Is waiting for me. Crossroads Center. Red shadow is particularly eye-catching. Sanghan's Ferrari. SF-90 has mutated into a 4-meter-tall humanoid mecha. With red lightning. The whole body is red. The wheels become thrusters. The arm extends from a carbon fiber blade. Strength. You are all garbage. Zhang Han's voice spread all over the block through loudspeakers. He was cutting through a mutant taxi with his speed. What about that poor little fan? His mindbreaker probably won't be human. The ground suddenly shook. Weak to strong. Street lampposts shake. Broken glass beats. Zhang Han looked away in confusion. At the end of the street in the smoke, a huge black shadow of the fortress emerged. Drive in a straight line. Vehicles along the way. The mutant mecha was all smashed by the plane. Zhang Han was angry. Jealousy and fear overwhelmed his mind. Is that poor car? No way. I'm going to tear you down. Red lightning. The thrusters behind it spray blue flames. Transformed into an afterimage. Carbon fiber high-frequency vibrating blade points directly at the fortress tire. He wanted to ruin my mobility. In the cab, I looked at the approaching red dot. It's like watching a fly pounce on a train. The speed is good, but you forget the first lesson in physics. Kinetic energy 12 square of mass velocity. When the quality gap is very large. Tricks are all jokes. Blade was cut on the 20 cm. Thick explosion-proof chainmail on the outside of the tire. Sparks flew. The blade broke. The reaction force caused the fragile carbon fiber arm of the Ferrari mech to burst instantly. Ah, my hand. Zhang Han's scream came out. It's over. That's my turn. My voice came through the loudspeaker, gently hit the steering wheel. Huge tires with a diameter of 4 meters carry hundreds of tons of rotational moment. Rubbed Zhang Han. Red lightning. Instantly twisted and deformed. Half of the mecha was rolled under the tire, like fresh meat in a meat grinder. No, I have money. Don't kill him. The voice stopped abruptly. Red lightning. It was run into the asphalt pavement. Becomes a thin specimen. System prompt. Kill the Tier 1 mutant sports car series. Obtain 1 rare speed mod fragment. The sky suddenly darkened. 3 steel griffins. Dive down. By a airliner. The helicopter is mutated. The wings are sharp wings. The claws are the landing gear grappling hooks. A fuel tank with acid drops hanging on the abdomen. Meantime, the ground cement exploded. Row covered with the scales of the excavator's bucket drilled out. They attacked from front to back. My eyes finally became serious. Press the red button on the console. The canvas at the rear of the car body is lifted. A twin 30mm automaton turret, exposing a black hole. Come on, beasts, let you see it. What is caliber is justice. The twin 30mm cannon warms up and rotates. Air is filled with a burning smell of ionization. 3 steel griffins. Finished glyph diving. The acid chamber is ready to go. Lock. Holographic screen. The red crosshair bites the target. I pull the trigger. A metal storm erupted at 40 rounds per minute. 200 meter tongues of fire gushed out. The orange lightning bullet pulls out the line of death. The first griffin flied away. The wing was cut off. 5 dry and tear up. Fuel and biological tissue explode into flesh and blood fireworks in the air. My wrist moved slightly. The tongue of fire swept across the sky. The second griffin's tail was blown off, planted into office buildings. The third griffin was pierced in the mouth by a cannonball. Burst from the inside out. The acid evaporates into a toxic mist. This is the voice of truth. I breathed the smoke of gunpowder. Paw stretching. There was a sudden loud noise from under the car. The 999-ton body shook slightly. Ground row variation heavy excavator. Dig into a jaw covered with barbs. The hydraulic arm forms a cervical spine. Right to the left rear wheel of the fortress. Sparks splashed everywhere. Its sharp teeth are stuck in the gaps in explosion-proof chainmail. Unable to make progress. Want to bite my feet? You have a tonnage. There is a misunderstanding. Excavator frantically shrinks hydraulic arms. Trying to pry the mining card. The lines do not move. I hook up the reverse gear. Full power reverse. The enormous friction and torque press the excavator's head towards the ground. The hydraulic rod broke. Hydraulic oil injection. The rear wheel of the mining cart rides on its body, just like a roller pressing can. Excavator tracks broke. The cab is flat. The engine bursts. It was crushed into an iron painting in 5 seconds. System prompt. Kill the secondary mutant engineering department. Obtain the high-strength alloy source point 200 at the core. Is automatically absorbed. The intersection fell into dead silence. Low-level mutant cars may tremble or run away in reverse. Their instincts perceive. Here, the tyrants at the top of the food chain were born. I press the button. Mechanical tentacles protrude from both sides of the body. Accurately extract the core crystal from the excavator and Ferrari wreckage. Devour. The core is sent into the devouring tank. There was a pleasant vibration from the body. Absorption is successful. Armor strength increased by 0. Obtain skill fragments. Instantaneous acceleration. You need to gather 10 pieces to unlock. Behind the windows of the roadside building, reviving humanity is terrified and snooping. In my previous life I might have saved him, but at this moment, I just withdrew my gaze indifferently. Close the windows. Start the engine. Head to the Urban Edge Logistics Park. My first strategic supply point. 5 kilometers from the intersection, a strange picture appeared on the national highway. The fortress crashed through the ruins in front to open the way. 200 meters behind him, 3 private cars and a van followed carefully, just like a school of fish attached to a whale. I spotted them through the radar. There was no drive in it. These cars can act as rear-view mirrors and alarms. The convoy reached the bridge. The bridgehead was converted by more than a dozen pickup trucks. Buggy blockade. On the roof of the car stood a roadhog with a shotgun and a fire axe. They are robbing the fleeing people. Stop the car. Bald roadhogs wave signal flags. The car behind him brakes suddenly. Someone wants to turn around. I hang up in a high grade. The speed of the car has not decreased. Run. Come on. After the bald roadhog saw the huge figure of the fortress, someone subconsciously shot the tire. But it is just like tickling an elephant. The V-shaped impact angle crashed into the barricade. The Range Rover was hit and flew into the river. Pickup truck was crushed into iron sheets. The bald roadhog was blown away by the shockwave. 3 seconds later, the barricades disappeared. Crossed the bridge. I drove the fort into the abandoned service area. The car behind him was parked 50 meters away. Few people came tremblingly. Middle-aged doctor in a suit. Young couple. Susua girl in workwear. Eldest brother. Immortal. We have water and food. Please. Let us follow. The doctor shouted with a cigarette. I am a mechanical college student. He will repair the car. Suzu said loudly. I can cook. The girl in the couple raised her hand. I am a surgeon. The doctor pulled out his documents. Car repairman. Doctor, logistics. This configuration is not bad. The lessons of fighting alone in my previous life made me understand. Manual handling of trivial matters is required. I don't support idle people. I played with the nail gun. If you want to follow, don't be left behind. Keep a distance of 100 meters. Dare to cross the line. Just look at the tracks on the wheels to know the end. I didn't start the car. They acquiesced to their following. Suzu looked at the fortress. The eyes were full of obsession. So beautiful. This is the real industrial aesthetic. In the cab, I looked at the green friendly markings on the radar. Close your eyes. Changhan D8. Roadhog cleared. Little brother accepted it. Day 1. Perfect ending. Take out the map. Finger dot at the red circle mark. Underground bomb shelter in the city. Military material reserve. There are the reactor components necessary for my evolution. Linhai City is in the western suburbs. The entrance to a bomb shelter disguised as an abandoned factory. The heavy concrete explosion-proof door was closed due to the burning of the electronic lock. Top dog can short-circuit the backup power supply or find a manual pressure relief valve. Zuzu shouted with a toolbox. It's too slow. In the face of absolute quality, there is nothing that cannot be hit. Suzu retreated to the safe zone. Fortress. Angle of impact mode fixed. System confirmation. Hydraulic suspension locking. Kinetic energy distribution. Front axle 100. Fortress. Step back 50 meters. Accelerate the sprint. 999 tons of mass plus more than 30 horsepower thrust. The concrete of the explosion-proof door is broken. Steel bar is torn off. The whole door is recessed in inward and falls off. The fortress only hit the corner and the paint rubbed off a little. Run over the wreckage and drive into the dark tunnel. Inside the tunnel, dense red dots appeared on the radar. The mutated automatic sentry cannon hangs upside down from the top. The infrared sensor locks us. 7 they need to machine gun bullets rain down on the armor. Only a light white spot remains. I turned on the double-barreled high-pressure water cannon on the roof. Spray waste engine oil. Fire the flares again. Flames engulf the ceiling. The ammunition box of the patrol cannon exploded. Pots fly around. Clean up. Give you 5 minutes to clean the battlefield. Bring all the parts that can be used. Suzu immediately took someone to disassemble the pots. Through the tunnel, we arrive at the huge main storage area. The shelves are full of guns, ammunition, military rations, body armor. The survivors carried it like crazy. I locked the independent secret room wrapped in lead plates in the center of the storage area. The location of the micro-fission battery pack. You move supplies. Who dares to approach the secret room? D. I drive the fortress. Drive towards the lead gate. Call Susu. Left valve. Listen to my password and turn it along. The door that has been sealed for decades slowly opened. The dark blue light shines through the center of the secret room. Inside the transparent container are 3 micro-fission fuel rods that emit a faint blue light. This is the key to level 3 energy. Allows the fortress to unlock the nuclear power, energy shield and beam weapon. I control the robotic arm and carefully pick up the fuel rods. Sent into the devouring tank of the fortress. The entire underground space is still. A terrifying suction erupted. Dashboard explodes. The lights in the car turn a dazzling blue. System warning. High energy reactor components detected. Energy density exceeds the standard. Forced assimilation is underway. Progress 10, 50, 99. The body trembled violently. Blue vessels posata under armor. The roar of the engine turned into a turbojet screeching. I was on an energy shock. The blood vessel seemed to dissolve magma. The eyes emit blue light. After the pain is the pleasure of a new life. Simulation completed. Energy system upgrades. The hybrid was upgraded to a miniature nuclear fission drive. Unlock new skills. Partial force field shield. Unlock new skills. Overload impact. The blue halo converges. The fortress reverts to its black appearance. It has been reborn. At this time, there was a scream outside. I reversed and rushed out of the secret room. I saw countless mechanical rats from the ventilation ducts. Sewer gushing out. In the center is the Rat King of the mutant garbage removal truck. The car bucket is a breeding nest. Spit out mechanical rats. The front of the car has long compound eyes. Spray green poison gas. Susu and the others were cornered. Rifles can't stop the rat tide. Looking for death. Just try out new equipment. Fortress. Start the polarization force field. Destruction confirmation. Output power 30. The translucent blue light curtain bursts and spreads. The mechanical mouse touches the force field and the circuit board burns instantly. It fell to the ground in an instant. The rat tide cleared most of the sky. The mouse on Susu's body also fell stiffly. The Rat King roared and spewed corrosive venom. I don't dodge or flash. Venom splashed on the force field shield and evaporated instantly. Overload impact. The fortress soared to 100 kilometers per hour in 2 seconds. V-shaped impact angle wrapped in blue energy storm. Slammed into the arms of the Rat King. Garbage truck armor is like foam. It was instantly knocked through and torn. The core is broken. The explosion drowned out the screams. System prompt. Kill the level 3 mutant scavenger type. Get the biodegradable mod. Pack the supplies. Don't waste time. Next stop. Hunt the big guys. Deep underground. I have completed the most critical transformation of the last days. From now on, I'm the Steel King who rides the nuclear storm. Exit the dugout. The setting sun at dusk plated the ruins with an ominous gold edge. The gaps in the fortress's armor dissipated the blue Cherenkov radiant glow. The engine emits a high frequency and delicate whistling sound. It was full of pressure. I stopped the car. Zuzu. Use the steel cable in the car body. Hang all your cars in series on my tow hook. Skewer it up. What to do with sharp turns? The doctor was stunned. My car is 10 meters wide. The road I drove past was the plains. No need to turn. 10 minutes later, the land train model took shape. The fortress is the head of the car, towing a van arsenal and 3 private cars. Like a steel snake. Get in. Roll up the window. Don't poke your head at whatever you hear. Going to get on the highway. On the highway around the city, tens of thousands of abandoned vehicles are blocked in long queues. The fortress is put into low-speed cruise gear. The V-shaped impact angle is like a hot knife cutting butter. Vehicles blocking the way were pushed away. Squeeze it. Shovel away. Survivors of the convoy behind through the car window. Look at the wreckage that is rapidly retreating on both sides. Shocked. Holographic radar suddenly appears dense red dots. 300 meters in the air. 500 mutant gargoyle drones. Swooping in, they are propellers into sharp rotors. The camera turned into red compound eyes. Mount miniature bombs and grappling hooks. The screeching beep overshadowed the engine howl. All of them lay down with his head in his arms. The dark clouds overwhelmed the top. The miniature bomb fell like ice. The windshield of a private car was shattered. The driver screamed. Act recklessly. Nuclear energy shield, full power coverage. The blue light curtain is enlarged, like a huge hemispherical cover, engulfing the entire convoy. Bomb smashed on the light shield and exploded Lian Yi. It cannot hurt the slightest. Automatic defense system. Activate the target. All air units. Fire mode. Free fire. The canvas behind the car bed slipped off. Twin 30-minute turret is raised. The armor plates on both sides of the body are turned over. 12 barrels of metal storm exposed. Melee defense system. The 30mm cannon named the leading drone one. The metal storm sprayed tens of thousands of barrages. The lightning bullets are intertwined into an impermeable network of wind and fire. The drone swarm crashed into the wall of fire. The burning parts smashed into the shield like dumplings. Suzu looked up. The blue shield is like the sky. Fire exploded all over the sky outside. Fortress is like a majestic fortress. Cusses firepower. Her eyes were full of obsession. The drone swarm dispersed. Deep in the clouds, the iron-winged Griffin Lord with a wingspan of more than 20 meters has arrived. Gunships merge with eagles. Mounted aviation cannons and rocket nests. Glance on the gantry. Fire 2 rockets. The shield trembled violently. The alarm sounded loudly. Warning, shield energy reduced to 70. High energy strikes were detected. It's a bit interesting. I slammed into the steering wheel. The fortress accelerated towards the gantry. Press the red button. Overload impact. Nuclear energy converges in high-pressure oil cannons. A blue dragon-like column of high-pressure fuel sprayed at the Griffin Lord. Immediately afterwards, an incendiary bomb was fired. The Griffin Lord transforms into a fireball. Metal feathers melt. When trying to take off, the metal storm concentrated fire to saw off its left flank. The huge body fell on the highway. I drive the fortress, run over directly, crush it into a discuss. At midnight, we arrive at our destination, Linhai International Convention and Exhibition Center. The terrain here is open, the walls are strong. The steel structure pavilion is suitable for transforming the fortress. The underground parking lot is enough for the fortress. Set up camp here tonight. Suzu repairs the backup generator set. Doctors build quarantine areas. Others used cars to form a cordon line. Climb onto the roof of the fortress. I pulled open the beer and took a sip. Overlooking the dark ruined city, the fire was in the sky. Screams could be faintly heard. At the foot is an invincible fortress, surrounded by die-hard followers. Step 1. Stand your ground. I looked at the white belly of the oriental fish. The light in his eyes flashed. Next, let the city know. Who is the new owner? In 3 days, Suzu led people to maintain the fortress. Doctors establish field hospitals. The team operates with precision. But early in the morning of the 4th day, the ground trembles. The roar of a large-scale diesel engine group came. Radar display. Warn. The approach of a large armed convoy was detected. Number of hostile targets. Empire. FD. Flagship target 1. Horizon ends. The Blood Legion's convoy approached. All modified armed vehicles. Painted with a blood-red logo. In the center is the Land Cruiser. Heavy flatbed trailer conversion. 3-story high conning tower. The lifting boom hangs a 10-ton electromagnetic suction cup. The body was covered with discarded tires and corpses. The tweeter came from the screeching sound. Brothers inside listened. Hand over the blue-lit car and the energy core. Men, get out. The woman stayed. There was silence in the convention and exhibition center. Everyone looked at the fortress. I light a cigarette. Press the megaphone. Get out of here or die. Toast without eating and penalty. Blast me here. Dozens of rockets hit the glass curtain wall. The bastion activates division mode. Instruction confirmation. Reactor power output 120. Partial force field shield. Full open. The fortress smashed the glass of the main entrance and rushed out. The blue shield flashes. Bullets and rockets can only create ripples. Fire. Individual cloud bomb launchers pop up on both sides of the body. 24 cloud bombs roared out, covering the striker fleet. The white fog detonated. A high temperature chamber turned more than a dozen cars into scrap metal. The Marauder died instantly. First round, complete victory. Vanguard was destroyed. The Blood Legion is fierce. Land cruisers roared into the square. Huge electromagnetic cups try to capture the fortress. Electromagnetic waves are isolated by a nuclear energy shield. Want to catch me? Compare strength. You are looking for death. I put on low-speed 4-wheel drive. Overload impact maximum power. The fortress faced the Land Cruiser. 2 behemoths collided together. The earth is cracking. Black smoke and blue light intertwine. Land cruisers rely on an extra long body and a grip of 20 wheels. Withstood the impact abruptly. Warn. Shield overload. The energy output is unstable. Susu. Detonate that. Previously, the self-destruct robot controlled by Susu has drilled into the chassis of the Land Cruiser. Align the main fuel tank. The chassis exploded. The drive shaft is broken. The fuel tank ignited. I grab the flaw. Nuclear energy pulse release. Blue shockwaves run through the Land Cruiser hull. The keel is broken. The conning tower collapsed. The butcher screamed in despair. I drive the fortress. Crush it up. Put this mobile fortress under your feet completely. completely. The main ship was destroyed. Remaining marauders scattered and fled. I didn't pursue. Enough power and slowness. Su and the doctor rushed out of the bunker with people, cheered and surrounded the fort. There is only awe in his eyes. This moment, they are no longer survivors. The people of the new king. After the battle, we build like crazy, dismantling the steel plates of the land cruiser, weld into the Great Wall of Steel, improve field hospitals. I made amazing decisions. Connect the fortress to the cable. Switch to core energy supply mode. Mode switching. Core energy supply model. The lights are on. The air conditioner turned. The water purification system worked. The large screen at the top of the pavilion is also lit up. In the wasteland of the end times, the convention and exhibition center has become a city that never sleeps. Tyrant City. A month later, Tyrant City doubles in size. Survivors came to hear the news. I make hierarchies. To enter the city, you need to hand over metal or core. Eating must work. I am no longer a salesman who worries about loans. It is the city lord here, only god of law. I stood on the roof of the exhibition hall and jumped at the horizon. The setting sun is like blood. Fortresses around you has been upgraded again. Install electromagnetic lifting arms. It can be transformed into a fixed turret. Top dog. The radar detected abnormal energy fluctuations on the beach. The energy level is 10 times that of ours. Suzu came over with a tablet. The face was solemn. Screen. A huge red shadow rises from the sea. Mutant aircraft carrier. Automatus class. Leviathan. Further inland. The legendary mechanical emperor. Hundreds of millions of corpses are gathering. 10 times. I looked at the red dot. There is no fear in the eyes. There is only a crazier fighting spirit. Patted the armor of the fortress. Seemingly this is not the end. Our journey is just getting started. The camera zooms out. On the wasteland, countless vehicles fight, and the tyrant is in the city. Flag of the black mining car totem.